Alright guys, so a lot of you have been asking about this paracord job here for your steering wheel. It's pretty straightforward, but there's a few things that you're going to need. You're going to need some sort of fire. A regular Bic lighter will work. I like using these butane ones because it gets shit nice and hot. Ooh, owie! You're going to need something to cut your paracord with. A razor blade, or knife, or for you guys out there, a knife, razor blade, whatever, any of that works. And I like to use a screwdriver, preferably with a flathead on it. One, because it helps you bunch everything up as you're spiraling your paracord, but also it gives you a nice flat surface to melt or burn your paracord so it doesn't come undone without having to tie a knot in it. As you can see, I could have gone a little bit tighter. There's some spaces in here, but that's gonna happen. Don't beat yourself up about it. It's really not that big a deal. This isn't coming off like it's on there really good. So that's nice. This is what I have left of some paracord here. This is basically what you're working with. Any length will do, but the longer you get, the better, because you don't want to have to splice stuff in between. So I usually buy, like, I think this was like a 200-foot length, and I probably used 50 feet of it for this. But you can melt them together if you absolutely have to. I'll show you how to do that later on, but try to refrain from doing that. So real quick with this piece, I'll show you kind of how to burn the edge. Basically all you do is, this has got kind of a lot on it, so we'll trim that off. If you have something flat, I like using this part of the steering wheel because it works really well. Try and shave this off as cleanly as you can. Sometimes it doesn't work that well. As you can see, the core just wants to pull out. That's basically the problem you run into, is a stupid core. So if you can hold it tight, something like this, sometimes it works a little better. Try not to let it fray. Take your fire, get her kind of hot and melt the tip until she kind of looks like hot glue, right? It's just essentially what it is. And then just take your flat head screwdriver or whatever you're working with. Try not to get it on your skin because it does burn and it's sticky and it'll melt you, right? And then that's basically what you got right there. Just a little melted tip. So what I like to do with this is, normally this comes nice and ready to go. This has kind of been opened up and abused and undone a few times. So try to keep your paracord organized. Unlike this, what I like to do is take a flathead screwdriver and I just start coiling. Something like that. It's tedious, it's annoying. Yay, get a nice tight coil going like this. I had a longer screwdriver. I'm not really sure what happened to it, but this will work for now. And I leave the tip open, right? And then come back. And once you get a couple coils on there, it goes a little bit faster. As you can see, this is kind of turning into a mess, so I don't have my longer screwdriver. Super fun. So I was like, I'm not really concerned with the beginning part of my wrap, or the end part of my wrap. Little line out, you're gonna go like this, right? Through, and underneath, and back through. Like that. Just creating a little half hitch. So you can do it like this, right? And then you're going to melt that side on there, but I went the other way, so I'm going to continue going the other way. Just depends on which way you want to wrap. So you can go like that. I'm going to screw it up. I'm going to be backwards. And then melt on the inside like that. And then you're just doing half hitches. You're going to pull this up like this and poke it through. Pull it up like this and poke it through and pull tight. So in order to keep it from coming undone, the best way to do is just go like that. Drape it over the top, all right? Come on the inside of your line, and then wrap around and poke through your hole. And then try to keep it as small as possible, because you're going to want to hide it. And you don't want to have a lot of line that you have to melt. But you do have to pull it tight too. So something like that. You see that? Nice and tucked underneath there. And then, this is kind of where the screwdriver is going to come into play, if you can manage it. You want this nice and tight, but you don't want to turn it. This is the beginning is the hardest setup, and it should be, because you're trying to get everything lined up for your future wrap, and you don't want to screw it all up, which I do sometimes. Trial and error, that's how it goes. I like using these little razor blades too, because sometimes you can't. I got all this line wrapped on this screwdriver, and I don't want to put it on here and melt the rest of my line, so we're just going to use this razor blade. See, I burned the core a little bit, but that's okay. I'm just sticking it all together. Not a big deal. And if you don't like some of this, you can just cut it and redo it. But that's not too bad, because I'm going to hide it underneath here like this. Usually rotate it around on the back side. Pull that kind of tight, see how it's not coming undone. It's glued in there nice. And the line is behind the steering wheel, which is how I did this other wrap, so that's how we're going to do this. The line's behind the steering wheel, and pull through. Take all of your line, that's why it's on this screwdriver, and put it through your loop, just like that. And when you pull this all tight, it's going to kind of go like this. And you want it to settle. Don't try to be like, oh, I want all my loops to be in the front, because you want it to pull itself around and tighten up. And if you got to put this back through, that's fine. Just kind of like let the line settle wherever it wants to settle. Pull up and pull down, pull up and pull down, and just like that until she gets nice and tight. Really, the first 3 wraps are the toughest. And if you can get those set up really nice like that, then you should be good to go. You're just trying to work that knot to cinch down on itself, just like that. And then you just keep going, right? So I looped it around, and it kind of sucked itself around back to the corner. And that's fine, because we're just going to keep wrapping. And you do that same thing. See that nice loop? It's going on the inside of itself. And then we pull this around like this, and it's going to do the same thing. And it's going to spiral itself all on its own, right? Pull it back on its knot to get all that line out of this loop around the steering wheel, and you're just pulling on that half hitch. That's all you're doing. You're just doing half hitches. And then pull that tight and kind of cinch her down together, just like that. See? There's your first 3. We're almost done. And try to keep your line as managed as possible. Mine's kind of falling apart here, but that's why you have it on the screwdriver, so you can just shove the whole spool through there rather than trying to manage it just as a spool. See, it's already coming through. Now we have this spiral that's poking nicely through here, and just keep cinching it down. Fingernails work, or like I said, I have this screwdriver here, a little flathead. You can pack it all nicely in here like this, push her down. And even if you need to use the handle to pull tight, right? Wrap some of this around here, like that. Sometimes when you get deeper into this, using this screwdriver to pull all this stuff tight really helps. Because you're not just, if you just had a ball of line in your hand, you'd pull everything through and it would just pull itself through your ball. But with the screwdriver, I can pull on here nice and tight and get her good to go. So you pay out a little bit, put your paracord through, and just keep doing that. I'm getting very close. I have a feeling I'm gonna run out. Now in your mind you think, oh, I'll just kind of skip around and make these go looser, and then I won't use up so much line. But as much as leaving gaps will work and help you extend, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to run out, it's just going to come falling apart, and you're not going to be happy with it. So might as well just go until it stops. I'm definitely going to run out. is absolutely gonna suck. It's gonna be close. Probably only gonna get 2 more wraps on this. Not gonna be able to make it all the way around. That's gonna be all she wrote. It's so close. Literally like another this much of line. Another that much of line and I would have had it. Well, I guess now is as good a time as any to show you how to splice. I'm going to keep this end because this end is nice. Poop! Okay, so if you get to this point, luckily this is going to be on the back side, and this wrap is getting a little loose, as you can see. It's a little loose, but that's okay. So, this is what you want to do. Save as much of this as possible, but you need the core. Like that. Same with this one. We need the core, or it won't work. This is a bad cut, but we're gonna make it work. Okay. So, you got 2 fluffies, right? You want to slide your core back just a little bit, just like that. Okay. And the idea is that you mesh them together, kind of like a wire, right? It's kind of hard without having 2 people, but that's the idea. You mesh them together, okay, and then you're going to melt them. See how they're kind of spiraled? Get these meshes to go together. Not the prettiest thing. That's the idea. Without melting your fingers. Woo! That's why these torches are kind of nice, because you can like aim and point them together. The goal is to make this goopy. Then kind of oh no. Oh yeah, burn those fingers. Right? That's what you're going for, something like that. It's hot and it burns you, but that's kind of the general idea. If this wasn't on this, what I would do is I'd lay them together on a table and burn them, and then you roll them, and they kind of go to bed. They go together a little bit better than that. Try not to touch the pad. But that's the idea. You get these cores to go together. There you go. And then, it's not pretty, but if it's on the back side of your steering wheel, it's not so bad. And then you can kind of continue. And the trick is if you can hide this in the wrap, right, like that. At least this is better than redoing all of it. There you go. Once that's all in there, that. Not too shabby. And we have a paracord steering wheel. Yay!